Okay, so it's time to have a brilliant conversation. I'm super excited about this one. We have Rebecca Bakre here. She is a Nigerian-American author, international certified life coach, founder of Captivative Coaching LCC, and visionary wellness strategist. We're taking a look at a very interesting topic. Now, she's going to be discussing mental health in the workplace.
Yeah.
Now, we're super excited that you're here.
I'm glad to be here too. Thank you so much for having me. Pretty good.
Yeah, so mental health in the workplace. Why is this an important topic in the first place?
Oh man, it's important. So I actually brought my book here today, and this book was born out of burnout. Okay. So I was working at very high levels in the US, and I was climbing the ladder because it was celebrated, but I wasn't being my authentic self. I wasn't pursuing the things that I'm passionate about, like writing and speaking. And so I got to a point where I was just exhausted, and one day I came home and I just crumbled to the ground, and I just was like over everything. I had built relationships that I didn't enjoy, friendships that I didn't enjoy, and work, roles that, while they were celebrated and I enjoyed doing them, they just left me tired. And so I really had to ask myself, what do I want out of life? And then I kind of just reset everything. And that's how this book was born. That's how this lifestyle of wellness came to be.
All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. We have the book here, Go Be Her.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I see that you're also playing with the T's. Yes, it's a go better.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome. Usually when people get employed, they're always super excited the first week of working. Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
They're telling your friends about it. I remember when I told my friends, I'm 1 hour Wake Up Nigeria. Yeah. And then, I don't know what happens in Nigeria, but after like a year or two, everyone's tired. Everyone's like, I can't continue pushing. And then you wake up like, God, when? Why? Why am I doing this? Why is that? Why does it happen that people just get tired over time? And they were happy at the beginning, but then they get tired.
Yeah, it's a great question. All the jobs that I was celebrated in and really enjoyed and climbed in, I was thrilled when I got them. But after a while, we get into these routines and we find ourselves kind of aligning with people's opinions and people's objectives. And then also every single day of our lives is an opportunity to grow. And every opportunity that we get, every job we get is an opportunity to expand. If we go into the experience and we don't use it as an opportunity to grow, we just kind of stay the same, then we'll find ourselves being suppressed. And so what do I mean by grow? We need to be able to set boundaries so that we can become our better self in the workplace. We need to be able to say, okay, I was a certain person when I came in here, but what are the tools that I'm pulling from here to get to my next level? If we only see our workplace as an opportunity to make money, then we'll find ourselves just pursuing the money and we'll wipe out. We have to have passions. We have to have things that are fueling us. We have to be learning something because there's always a next step. And so we get sucked in because, again, we started at a certain level and everything is a test. Every conversation with your boss is a test. Are you going to value yourself in this conversation or are you going to diminish yourself? And so the best thing that you could do is set boundaries and spend time outside of the workplace, spend time in the mirror telling yourself who you are, who you want to become, so that you don't get complacent. Because once you get complacent, everything will just wipe you out.
So when you say set boundaries, I want you to give me a clear example on one way to set boundaries.
So there's 3 ways that I like to recommend setting boundaries in the workplace. The first one is saying no.
Saying no?
Yeah.
To who? Who are you saying no to?
I know that's a hard one for a lot of us. We grew up in environments where we didn't really have a lot of autonomy. We had to respect our elders, respect the authority.
And there are consequences for saying no.
There are consequences for saying no, but at the same time, there's benefits to saying no. So if we focus only on the consequences, we never do it. If we focus on the benefits are we get to show up better because we don't always stay over capacity. Your boss can respect you more when you're giving your best work, and they actually don't respect you as much if you're not giving your best work because you're saying yes to everything.
But you know how we always said the reward for good work is more work?
Exactly.
So Exactly. So how do you give your best and expect more work in a country like Nigeria and still say no?
We have to be realistic with how much we're giving to anything.
Okay.
So a lot of us are giving 100% to our jobs, and that's the reason why we're staying stuck there. I recommend giving 80% or less if you're risky.
So that's not your best?
It's not your
best. When you give 80 and then you know you could give 100, it's
well,
not your best. Let me paint the scenario this way.
Sure.
So say you were told to write a script, and usually it would probably take you about, say, 15 minutes. You know that if you have a 15-minute script, you would be able to give your best and you would have a great idea. But if you're giving 80, you're now pushing it to say, you know what, I can do this in 15, but I'd rather do this, let's say, 30 or an hour.
So when I say give 80%, I mean more so in the space of time.
Okay.
So if you can give yourself 20%, because a lot of people are taking work home, they're taking calls late at night, and they're giving it their all. So when it comes time to, okay, I don't like this environment, I don't like how this boss is treating me, I want another opportunity, we feel defeated, we feel like we can't get that because we have zero time to actually think about that. So 20% should go to taking care of yourself, being still, being mindful, applying to the other opportunities. Because if you don't give yourself that 20%, then you'll just feel helpless giving all of your time to this one thing, and you'll think that there's no way out. There is a way out. It starts with a seed. So even if you just pull back 2%, 2% is just simply sitting still in the office like,
I think we should try that right now.
Yeah,
Can we just
let's
try it
do
together?
it.
Just hold me.
Okay.
Just hold me, just so I can.
So just take a deep breath in, hold it.
Actually, wait. You didn't tell me I hold it.
Okay.
Sorry. Let's start again. You didn't tell me I
let's
hold
start
it.
again.
Yeah, let's go.
Take a deep breath in, and then hold it at the top, and then let it out. Ooh. Let's do another one. Take a deep breath in, holding it, and let it out. Ooh. And what we've done right there is we've let our bodies know that we care about us more than we care. Exactly. You feel the difference, right?
Yes, I do.
We literally have just given our brains oxygen.
Wow.
So what happens is in Nigeria, we are constantly running, constantly in chaos, constantly experiencing this cortisol injection. We've become addicted to cortisol. But if we just give our brains oxygen by breathing, and when we hold it, it's letting it get up there, letting it get to the nervous system, letting it do its job. And now our brain can function more clearly. If you feel helpless in your workplace and like you can't say no and like you're worthless and you can't give 80%, it's because your brain isn't even functioning clear enough. When your brain is operating at its optimum, then you have confidence, you can relax, you can do your work better, and you can also think about the future. You can think, okay, I'm gonna give this job this much more time, and I'm gonna set up a strategy in order to get into my next level. There's always a next level. There's no cap. I know we've been subjected by our environment to feel like there's hopelessness, but I'm someone that is what you would call a hope dealer. One conversation with me, I create this container of safety. Let's talk about it. Let's get practical. Let's breathe. And then let's create new strategy.
Awesome. Now, you talked about the 3 levels of boundaries, and that's the first one, say no, right?
Yep.
What are the other 2?
So the second one is the 80% versus 20%. And then the third one is buffers. You want to give your life buffer. You want to give yourself meetings, buffers around your meetings. So a lot of times we just say, okay, well, I have this gap in my schedule. Let me fill it with something. And we're wondering why we're burned out. We need to see rest as an opportunity as well, as a form of productivity as well. So if you can give yourself 30 minutes between meetings, that's going to be very wise. If you are scheduling your day and you see that, okay, I have a gap today, but I already have 3 other obligations and I need mental capacity to do those, but I do have some time on Thursday, strategically taking autonomy of your schedule and spacing your week out is going to be valuable, especially when we have to deal with traffic and we have to deal with all these other things that come with pressure. Factor those into how you schedule your day.
Oh, true. That is right, because sometimes when you're probably putting your plans together, you just say, oh, morning prayers, go get to work, do this. We do not put traffic in the plan.
Exactly, we don't. And then we blame traffic every day. And it's like, no, we have to start taking ownership of our time. And again, we don't do it because we were raised to rely on everyone else, be dependent on our elders, but we have to take ownership and parent ourselves in the way that we needed to be parented.
Okay, let's talk about rest.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much rest or sleep is needed 24 hours a day?
So they say that we should be getting 8 hours of sleep. I actually saw that there's a study that says women should be getting more.
Women should get more sleep than men? Why?
I don't want to get into the bias.
No. I just want to
that.
hear from you. You're experienced, you're professional, so you have there are reasons.
Yeah.
There must be reasons.
So based on the study, I believe it has to do with our bodily functions. There's more going on, particularly like when it comes to the womb, and we also are the nurturers, so we are carrying a lot more emotions. We're carrying a lot more people, and emotions have weight. Hopefully next week,
I think. A study by an American.
I'm sorry?
Was a study by an American?
That's a really funny question.
It's very important. You know why? Because I also feel like Nigerians, no offense to women in general, but men, we also do a lot.
Men do a lot.
A lot of mental work as well.
And men carry a lot of emotional weight as well. So again, the study, I need to look more into it. I don't want to get into the bias of it. I'm sure there was some detailed science behind it, but I think that people should just get sleep.
All right, so let's take 8 hours a day. Okay, so Is it safe to say that instead of doing 8 hours at a stretch, I can break it? Would it still? So inside, I say I do 2 hours by 12, another 2 by 5.
So
another
actually, 8 hours for many can be unrealistic, and maybe not even unrealistic. It may be just we're not programmed that way. Like I personally find that my most creative hours are like right around midnight, and so sometimes I'm staying up. I don't follow the 8-hour rule. It's advised. I do try to take naps, but I would say that if you are in a season of your life where you're not fueled with passions and joy and things like that, then you definitely want to try to get 8 hours. If you are fueled in other ways, then, you know, I hope the scientists and the doctors don't come at me and say, you know, she's giving terrible advice, because, you know, the 8 hours might just need to be the standard, but I also recognize that we have to be practical, you know. So if you are making sure that you're still giving yourself gaps of time where you feel joy and you're prioritizing yourself, I think that can make up for the time that's lost from not getting a full 8 hours of sleep.
All right, so let's look at the book. I told you I was going to try something.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's quite interesting that in your book you have a couple of short messages on the left side of the book,
right,
and then you explain everyone on the right. So more like clickbaits, kind of clickbaits that have like 2-3 millions. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So what I would just do right now is I would open the book randomly, and I would just read out to you the message you have on the left, and you just tell me what that's about.
Let's talk about it.
So it says, love is easy. 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 You have it here 5 times.
Yeah.
And that is deliberate.
Yes.
I am sure you have it here 5 times because it is very deliberate. You want people to have that message.
Exactly.
Right, so why would you say love is easy?
I put it there 5 times.
Because I think it's complicated. I think it's hard. I think it's confusing.
Exactly. And whatever we think it is what it will be. And that's why I said it over and over, because we need to plant new seeds in order to get what we want.
Okay.
A lot of what we've just been talking about, the overwhelm in the workplace, it comes from low self-esteem. We grew up in environments where we weren't affirmed. The Jewish culture, they have a practice where every single Friday they are blessed. They are told, you will become this, you are great. And they statistically become the most successful people in the world.
Positivity into yourself.
Exactly. And so if you were raised in an environment where you were told, shut up, be quiet, be still, don't talk, you're nothing, you're dumb, you go, all these different insults, those are the seeds that are planted. If you grew up in an environment where love seemed hard, was hard, visibly, or you were told and taught that it was hard, then that's what you're going to manifest. That's what you're going to create. So I want to reverse that by taking a different perspective. And what I also say in that section is that it really comes down to like what's going on inside of you. If you can adjust, then you can actually create very healthy relationships. All
right, so final question. I would like you to give out 5 tips to everyone who is watching at home, who is working. What are 5 tips you can actually, take at your workplace to have a better life? 5 tips.
First one is this: breathe. Whew.
Breathe, yes. I just learned that one. So probably do it every night and then, when I'm tired. Yes.
So important. This world was created with breath. We create our worlds with breath. We need to give our oxygen, our lungs oxygen, our brains oxygen. So breathe, and you can actually create more.
1.
Eat well.
Eat well.
Remember to eat, for those that don't, but eat well. That's also fueling your body. It's fueling your brain. So that you can think more clearly and think about the future.
So breathe, eat well.
Yes.
What's
the third thing
word?
is dream.
Dream.
Daydream. And can you imagine such a response? The reason why we don't dream is because we've trivialized it. In our childhood, we were punished for dazing out, but literally billionaires spend the first few minutes of their morning thinking about how
and dreaming is free.
Meditate. It's free.
Yeah, it's free. It's not,
and it
not
creates
expensive.
an activation in your body that helps you relax. And it's from that space that you can actually create wealth.
All right.
So a lot of things that are keeping us from these things, eating well, breathing, meditating, are actually keeping us from wealth. And we run to the money, but we should actually slow down and prioritize these things, and it'll come to us.
Ooh, okay. Now what's the fourth one? The fourth one is really strong. What's the fourth one?
The fourth one is your environment. Anything you can do to tweak your environment. You may not be able to change your entire environment, but just adding a little touch of something over time. What? You can add flowers if you can access fresh flowers. Now there are some fresh flower plugs. I know people think that there's no flowers in Lagos. I have a plug if you want.
Flowers in my compound.
You can add even just something of color.
Okay.
See, and the thing is, we shame these things, but they're actually the things that help us and the things that we need. Standing in grass, touching nature, it's very important. We don't have access to it as much as possible. If you can find it, it can really actually reset your entire body and your system.
Now, what's the final one?
The final thing and the most important thing is being still. So I was able to reset my entire life and go from burnout to living in paradise in Costa Rica for a full year before moving here and living what I find to be a life of ease in the midst of chaos by resetting my life through stillness. So it seems difficult at first because, again, our bodies are addicted to chronic stress and cortisol. So when we don't have cortisol flowing, which is the stress hormone, we're looking for it. We're worrying about something. We're thinking about the next action.
Yeah.
But if you can detox from that by just sitting still for even 30 seconds, your body is now going to start to get used to being still. And what happens when we're still is our brain is rewiring, our cells are being regenerated, everything is being made new. And if we don't do it long enough, we'll constantly be in the old and we'll be begging for new, but we'll still be producing the old. So being still for 30 seconds, increase it to 5 minutes, increase it to 7 days if you can. There are people that go on silence retreats across the world. Right. And I've done the same, and it's completely changed my life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There is
well.
a lot I've learned so far, and we're super happy that you came on the show and you shared your knowledge as well.
Thank you.
Especially breathing and being still.
So
you know what we're going to do right now? Everyone that's at home, listen, if you're watching the show right now, whether you're in your car, you're parked somewhere, your place of work, you're home, let's just do this together.
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap up, okay?
All right.
So 10 seconds. We don't have 30, but we have 10.
Okay.
All right, so 10 seconds, let's just be still. All right? Go. Yes, that is it.
Powerful.
Thank you so much. We're super excited.
Appreciate it.
Yes, guys, the show continues to still Wake Up Nigeria. Please remember to breathe from time to time, be still, and take care of your mental health, the place of work. All right, we'll be right back after the short break. Don't go anywhere.